Next time you're stuck in traffic getting to or from work, take heart. It could be a lot worse if you live someplace else. In fact, our region usually ranks below the national average when it comes to commuting time. Yet that doesn't mean that things can't be a whole lot better around here. One way to tackle the issue is to improve the flow of traffic through town, and Traffic 21, a multidisciplinary initiative at Carnegie Mellon University, is bringing technology to the rescue with everything from smarter traffic signals to driverless cars. Rick Stafford's leading the charge. He's Distinguished Service Professor of Public Policy at the Heinz College at Carnegie Mellon. And welcome. Good to have you back, Rick.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so this is like a whole second career for you after years in purely sort of public policy. Now you're in the transportation business. What's Traffic 21 all about?
Well, Traffic 21 is really about technology, fundamentally. And we had an angel investor by the name of Henry Hillman who came to Carnegie Mellon and basically said, I challenge you to address transportation problems that we face with technology rather than more concrete. And he seeded an investment in Carnegie Mellon to allow us to challenge our faculty and research and students to tackle problems through the application of intelligent technology, artificial intelligence, a variety of approaches that basically promise to make our transportation system safer and more efficient for everybody from pedestrians to trailer trucks.
Wow. So this is really an effort that draws all the way across all the different specialties and disciplines within the university?
It's very interdisciplinary, and that's why it's fun to have a second career, because I'm working with folks that frankly are not in my specialty area of public policy necessarily, but they bring a set of skills and knowledge and understanding that's pretty exciting to be around. And we've been able to stimulate a variety of projects. When we first put out an internal request for proposals using Hillman's seed money, we expected 6 or 7 proposals. We got 26 different proposals to address transportation issues in the Pittsburgh area. Very exciting. We were able to fund 12 of those to begin, everything from a project involving partners in the community to address smart parking, real-time bus arrival, technology that would see the road ahead and detect where the potholes and cracks were, so that in fact our maintenance crews could understand where they had to prioritize.
Wow. Well, tell me a little about the traffic lights. I guess there was an event recently in East Liberty, the east end of Pittsburgh, where you're starting to install these smart traffic lights?
Absolutely. This actually, I'm sure I speak for the angel investor when I say this is one of his favorite projects. It got started by the Intelligent Coordination and Logistics Laboratory at Carnegie Mellon. Steve Smith is the director there, and when I first met with Steve and asked him, why do you want to get involved in applying your technology ideas to Pittsburgh's transportation problems, he said, this is where I live. This is where I live. And I went, Steve, we need you in Pittsburgh. And
so what's the deal here? Well, these are like, what, this is a traffic light system that sort of responds to conditions instantaneously in some way? Yeah?
This is way beyond the normal understanding of adaptive traffic signalization. Basically, Steve has the artificial intelligence, if you will, behind traffic lights being able to talk to themselves real time in an urban network, so that there's no central control. Each intersection is telling adjacent intersections in the network, here's how many cars I'm sending you. And in fact, as he works through this, and you're able to optimize, in other words, so that it harmonizes pedestrian, bicycle, transit, and auto. And it all depends on being able to detect each of those entities, and then taking that detection and using very, very sophisticated algorithms to harmonize and optimize the traffic.
Unbelievable. Now, and the other piece of this we mentioned in the intro, I know there's lots more to Traffic 21, but it's the idea of driverless cars. Is it finally time? Has the moment come?
And in fact, we've been able to turn that seed investment into multiple dollars of support from outside the region, bringing this into Pittsburgh. Our hope is to build Pittsburgh's reputation, and nothing can build that reputation more than autonomous driving. This has been developing in Carnegie Mellon for years now.
I go back 20 years riding a Humvee in Flagstaff Hill. I remember the beginning of all of that.
Well, actually, we really hit the international scene with Pittsburgh being one of the centers of this activity this past fall when we did a driverless exercise from Cranberry through all the traffic lights in Cranberry, out onto the open highway, all the way to the airport.
So I see there's a guy behind the wheel, but it's actually the computer driving the car. He's not. Yeah, there goes the wheel.
Yeah.
His hands are not on the wheel.
This is an interesting thing to note, Bill. We had to call the state police ahead of time to make sure this was legal. And the fact that Jared, that he's the driver, is behind the wheel and that red button exists makes it legal, because he is behind the wheel, and if anything were to sort of go wrong with all the computers and sensors, hit the red button, and now he can drive it. So we're in control in that regard, in a legal sense.
That's amazing. Only a few seconds left, but I wonder. I mean, you know, you're like a policy wonk, talking all this technology stuff. But I guess to actually make meaningful change in transportation, you can have all the whiz-bang science and engineering, but if you can't implement it, what good is it? Is that why you're sort of leading the charge here?
Well, exactly. And that again was Henry Hillman's vision, that this would be deployed. And frankly, there are a lot of policy issues as you think ahead on autonomous driving. You know, who's going to be liable if something happens? Is it the car that's liable? And how do you take the car to court, so to speak? So we have a lot of public policy challenges ahead of us. But let me say that technology is going to make our experience in transportation, whether we're pedestrians, bicyclists, we're riding a locomotive, we're in that driverless car, a lot safer and a lot more efficient in the years ahead. And Pittsburgh's going to be at the center of it.
We'd love to see it. Rick Stafford from Traffic 21 at CMU. Good to see you. Thanks so much.
Good to see you.
Next up, a few tips on cutting costs and improving efficiency by making a corporate commitment to sustainability. Stay with us.